Hello guys, welcome to this new Redshift tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use the new procedural shading method for Redshift light domes, but for Solaris. Because for example, if we are in Houdini and if we check the object context, probably you will notice this new parameter here on the dome light to specify the source that will be used to generate the map for the dome light. But if, for example, if we go into Solaris and of course into the Redshift section, the dome light parameters, we won't find that parameter. And that's because the implementation is slightly different in Solaris. I thought that maybe it was like a little missing, and I asked it in the forum. And for example, Saul, which is the most famous user for Redshift, because you can find it helping a lot on the Redshift forum, on the Facebook group, on Discord group, and so others. And for example, he answered me that actually to be able to use that feature, you will need to do the classic custom lighting material stuff in Solaris that probably not all the users know this method. So I just thought that might be like a good opportunity to record it on this little tutorial. So I'm going to show you this method. Some user might do it, the same thing, but slightly different, but I just like to do it like this. For example, I need to create an empty mesh primitive. For example, you can search for some default primitive types like the mesh primitive, and you can find a different primitive type like points and some others. And basically, it will create like the container of that primitive type without any kind of content. For example, this mesh that I created here is just an empty primitive that I can find it here on my SCGraph tree. So after that, I can just create a material library. I created this very quickly because from my die-lib library, I have this little shelf bar with this tool, with a tool for new geometry and new material. And I have some a shortcut assigned to those tools or a hotkey. For example, I have the material assignment when I press Ctrl and M. And to create geometries, I can just hit Ctrl and J. Okay, here my material library already contains a Redshift material builder, and you just need to delete this thing and create an USD Light Shader. This is the most important part here because that's the output shader that Redshift needs to read the light. And after that, I can just create a Dome Light Shader. Let's do something basic. Let's only use a ramp parameter here, and we can use one of the cool presets ramps from Houdini. And also let's add a little name to this material. Now I can find my material here and also the light here. And of course, let's rename the mesh primitive to proxy light material for this tutorial. For example, I usually put the dummies inside of the same light group. So it is better to have like everything related to light inside of the light. And here you can just, of course, add some custom other groups like dummies in case you need to create multiple dummies. And to be able to apply materials into light, basically you need to apply the material. Even if it is a light material, you need to apply it into a dummy mesh primitive, because that will force that the material will be exported in render time. So for this case, I can just enable the assign to geometry and drag and drop my path of the dummy. Here, for example, now on the dome light, I just need to drag also my shader, my material path, and just enable Redshift. Okay, probably you may be a little bit disappointed because we can see that we don't see anything from the ramp. So there is one last step. You just need to go inside your material and you will find the same map source parameter here. Basically, you will need to switch from texture into shader, very similar to the object context. And now we can have the same type of control that we have in the other context. And one important thing, because we are controlling the dome light with the shader, you will notice that if I change the values like the intensity and exposure, nothing is changing in the viewport because we will need to control all of that directly here on the shader. Here we can have like an intensity multiplier controller. So basically, every parameter that we found here on the shader is the one that has to be controlled directly here and not from the controllers from the Dome Light node outside. So we have here the controllers for the backplate, well, the tint, the shadow, and a few other stuff. So let me just reset this to have a nicer colors. And there you go. With this method, you will be able to do some custom procedural materials for your dome lights. I hope you like it and hope you find it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to be a little bit more active into my YouTube channel. So let's see you in the next one.